caseload has crossed 2,000 mark as daily infections have been rising in recent time. Given the changing nature of the virus and new strains emerging, affecting people's health in many ways, all members of public are urged to take maximum precaution at all times to avoid its further spread. Good morning, I'm Chitrakar and these are the headlines of the hour. Government preparation to introduce a new law to settle insurgency-era cases draws criticisms. Experts say arrangement to deny appeal process is against judicial principles. Election Commission recommends announcing date for provincial and parliamentary elections by allocating 120 days for preparation. UML demands poll within Mangsil. The United States estimates Russian casualties in Ukraine so far have reached 15,000, cautioning that Kyiv has endured significant losses as well. And England Lionesses enter into the semi-finals of the European Women's Championship, defeating pre-tournament favourites Spain in extra time. The government is making preparations to introduce a law which will deny the victims of the insurgency period, who have been awaiting justice for many years, an opportunity to appeal against court verdict. The bill registered at the Parliament challenges the verdict of the Supreme Court and prohibits the victims from appealing against the verdict of a special court deciding on the cases of the insurgency period. Such an arrangement is against judicial principles. The bill registered at the Parliament on the 15th of July to amend the Act related to the Truth and Reconciliation Commission and the Commission of Investigation on Enforced Disappeared Persons has prohibited the rights of victims to appeal against court verdict when denied justice. The Act provisions the formation of a special court to ensure justice in serious cases of the insurgency period and reconciliation in case of consensus among two entities. However, terming the provision against international judicial principles, the Supreme Court had directed the government to amend the law 8 years ago. The proposed bill does not seem to be any different than existing provisions and has therefore drawn criticisms. The bill has recognized murder, sexual violence, torture, abduction, illegal detention, physical abuse, theft and vandalizing as a serious violation of human rights. But the nature of incident has not been categorized for reconciliation. With the legal provisions themselves being disputed, justice for the victims remains uncertain. At a time when the Election Commission has said that it would be difficult to hold provincial and parliamentary elections if the dates were not announced 120 days before the polls, main opposition CPN-UML leader KP Sharma Oli has demanded holding the election between mid of November and mid of December, which is the Nepali month of Mangsil. Saying it had become difficult for the Election Commission to hold the local level election as the date was announced only 95 days before the polls, the Apex Election Authority has added that it would require at least 4 months to hold provincial and parliamentary elections. The Election Commission had met with Prime Minister Sher Bahadur Deuba on the 6th of July and had recommended holding the elections on the 18th of November. However, the government is yet to declare the poll dates. In such a situation, opposition leader Oli has alleged the government of delaying the provincial and parliamentary elections. The government seems to be in a state of dilemma regarding the poll date as a consensus remains to be reached among the coalition parties. In addition to that, the government is likely to announce the election date only after parliamentary endorsement of some important bills. According to sources closer to Prime Minister, the government is likely to announce the election date on the first week of August. Despite the lapse of 1 month since the government decision to withdraw from the American State Partnership Program (SPP), it is yet to correspond with the United States of America regarding the same. While the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has said that it is still reviewing the program, lawmakers have urged the House of Representatives to direct the government for immediate correspondence with the United States in this regard. Saying the government was yet to correspond with the United States regarding the decision of the Council of Ministers of not becoming a part of the SPP, main opposition CPN-UML has demanded the Parliament to direct the government for the correspondence at the earliest. UML lawmaker Bhim Rao demanded a ruling from the lower house for the same. Following widespread criticism, the Council of Ministers had decided to withdraw from the SPP. However, the government is yet to send an official letter to the American authorities in this regard. Addressing yesterday's press meet organized by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, spokesperson Sewa Lamsal said that the ministry is still reviewing the SPP. Lamsal had furnished a similar explanation 2 weeks ago as well. According to Lamsal, it has been revealed that various grants for disaster management under the American State Partnership Program (SPP) have already been received by Nepal. She further added that discussions on grants of the SPP are underway with Nepal Police and Nepal Army among other entities. Lamsal also informed that preparations are underway for a high-level delegation's participation at the upcoming United Nations General Assembly slated for September. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked in several provinces regarding their take on the trend of forming political alliances as the election approaches. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
देश विकासको लागि हैन कि आफ्नो स्वार्थको लागि मिल्न खोजे गठबन्धन गर्न खोजेको कुर्सी र स्वार्थको लागि हो
आफ्नो कुर्सी बचाउन यस्तो गरेका होलान्
आफ्नो पार्टीसँग सन्तुष्ट नभएर
स्वार्थपूर्ति गर्न नेताहरू जे पनि गर्न तयार भएको देखिन्छ
चित्त नबुझेको कारण पनि हुन सक्छ
राजनीतिक दलहरू सबै आफ्नो कुर्सी महको लागि
यसले देशको लागि भलो गर्दैन
Time now for our segment, Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
Here's the question: why have the political parties not reached a consensus on the bill related to citizenship? Your options are A, political ploys, B, complicated topic, and C, impact of pressure. Voting is on. Type any WS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. National cricket team coach Pubudu Dasanayake has resigned. Coach Dasanayake has announced his resignation immediately after returning from the Scotland series under the ICC World Cricket League 2, citing personal reasons. Having taken Nepal to the 2020 World Cup in his previous term as Nepal's coach, Dasanayake's second term in the same role was not successful. Coach Dasanayake was criticized after Nepal failed to produce expected performance in two recent tournaments under the League 2 in the United States of America and Scotland. Dasanayake had submitted his resignation to the Cricket Association of Nepal, citing personal reasons. Despite having filed his resignation before leaving for Scotland, Dasanayake had informed the players only yesterday. The national team has been criticized of groupism after the dispute between the CAN and players had surfaced. The National Cricket Governing Body had stripped Gyanendra Malla of captaincy in a disciplinary action for airing statements in relation to the grades of players. However, Dasanayake has claimed that there are no such differences in the team at the moment. During his second term, Nepal played 14 one-day internationals, winning only 4 of them while losing 9, and the odd match had ended in a tie. Meanwhile, of the 13 2020 internationals, Nepal won 10 and lost 3. Prior to this, Nepal had featured in the T20 World Cup for the first time during the previous term of Dasanayake between 2011 and 2015. According to CAN, it will begin procedures for appointment of a new coach in the next week. Before wrapping up, here's a look at the top stories once again. Government preparation to introduce a new law to settle insurgency-era cases draws criticisms. Experts say arrangement to deny appeal process is against judicial principles. Election Commission recommends announcing date for provincial and parliamentary elections by allocating 120 days for preparation. UML demands polls within Mongsir. The United States estimates Russian casualties in Ukraine so far have reached 15,000, cautioning that Kyiv has endured significant losses as well. And England Lionesses enter into the semi-finals of the European Women's Championship, defeating pre-tournament favourites Spain in extra time. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.